I don't know if I love or hate these. Sennheiser HD560s. So I heard about them from the other reviewer, DMS. And I didn't just hear about them in passing, like, oh yeah, I tried this, it was pretty good, moving on. No. If you know him, he's very negative about a lot of things. He likes some headphones, but he literally came at me, bro, with like, dude, these are it. We're done. Just fucking all this shit is garbage. Everything is garbage. These are they. And I'm like, oh, intriguing. I love your enthusiasm, which is very rare. So I got in touch with the person who got in touch with him to send me a pair. So now I have a pair. And I swear on some songs, these are exactly as good as he is describing. And other songs, So they are based on like the 500 series build, which is you've seen the 598s and 569s. And I did the whole series like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And they look like this. There's plastic up here, big, thick comfort cushions here. Articulation is a little bit limited. Not the greatest build quality. These are $200, by the way. Metal grill, some fabric behind it. We got to talk about the wire. Not helping the case for the hate, but I mean, comfortable overall. They weigh nothing. They're just super lightweight. They are claimed on Sennheiser's site to be designed for linear. No, that's harmonic dyne. We're not looking at those. Oh, I just restarted my browser. With linear acoustics tailored to extended listening sessions and smooth, gratifying bass performance, the HD560s was crafted for the analytical audio enthusiast. And the analytical audio enthusiast, literally, there's a picture of DMS's face next to it. We'll get into that in the ice cream video. There's going to be an ice cream video. I'm pretty sure of it now. But, so, okay. Analytical audio enthusiasts. What that means is that these should be, well, fucking analytical headphones. And there's a problem with that. You see, music, there's two ways to look at music. Either music is a joy or music is work. If it's something you put on to just chill and relax and fucking enjoy and, you know, lay down naked, covered in green jello and smoke a doobie and listen to your music, that's not really being analytical. Being analytical is 17 cups of coffee and your eyes hurt because you've been up 42 hours and you're like, what's the symbol? What brand symbol are they using in this particular song? I need to know. This song over and over again. That's being analytical, at least in my mind it is. Now, there is a wonderful blend somewhere in the middle of audiophilia. You don't have to go all soft, girly stuff, you know, oh, just want to just feel it, man. Go, bruh. And there's not just like, there's the middle ground that is all headphones. And these just happen to lean towards that guy. So I put them on my head. And they are extremely comfortable. Like I almost caught my GoPro. I did try to, you know how I do that thing where I bend the headband? The problem with this is it's so cheap that when you do that, the plastic starts to separate because there's no metal in this. There's no metal in it. So I'm trying to stretch plastic and like the actual seam popped out and I had to like click it back in. So I ended up putting it over a brick, slightly bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm afraid I'm going to break it, but it hasn't broken so far. So I've loosened up the clamp just whatever I can in the last like week and a half. The pads are non-memory foam and this Sennheiser, so you know you can't change them. They're like a weird, like in this light, they're like a weird blue-green. And I'm going to see that wallpaper. That's someone who's analytically assessing music. That's the analytical demon. That's what I'm going to call it. So they feel fucking great. If you think HD600s, HD650s, 660s, you think those are just too tight, This fixes that entirely. The pads are huge. They're deep. They don't clamp quite as hard, especially once you let them relax a bit. They're very, very comfortable. They're like Harmonic Dyne Zeus. Comfortable, but more light. And I could hear straight through them. That's another thing. They are open. They're freaky open. They're like Ship 9500 or better open. So there's nothing between me and the outside world. I don't even know where this driver is. But then you play something and it's like, okay, I'm going to lower the shit out of that right now. I am using, by the way, for this particular test, the Monoprice Monolith Liquid Gold X, which is a $1,000 amp DAC. And I'm currently using the $1,100 Musician Pegasus R2R DAC being fed with I2S through the fucking Wi-Fi Raspberry Pi audio hat to feed this with I2S to balance into that $1,000 amp. It's basically a $1,000 amp. And then I'm pushing it through a wire, which is not the stock wire, because we're going to get to it. And like this song, which is a song I love, Fatboy Slim Gangster Trippin'. We're on low gain. And I just don't want to listen to this song. I'm analytically listening to this song, and it's like, oh, this is not, oh, there's no. Next. Marilyn Manson's The Dope Show. Let's see how this goes down. Better, but still not like, I don't want to listen to it here. Prague Philharmonic Orchestra Predator soundtrack, which is interesting. Let's get ahead. Oh, this is nice. Yes. Oh, the imaging. Oh my God. Now they're that thing. Now this song, the 5 songs will go by and you'll be like, oh, why? And then this song will come on and it's like, because it's a Prague Philharmonic, because it's a fucking absolutely perfectly recorded thing. Now you love these headphones. Now you love, these fucking headphones are doing things right now that HD600s can't do. Like the imaging is startlingly good. I can hear every instrument in this fucking orchestra. Like is moving up and over. Yes, now the energy is there. But I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go through more of my playlist, which is going to be more songs that are like, well, Father John Misty's going to be good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good shit. My God. Basically, you have to curtail your listening for headphones that's analytical. When you get good shit, and this is the Musicians of the Nile, Zaharafat Al-Said, from Luxor to Izna. I have no idea where this came from. Where is this from? Let me see what folder this is in, because I don't recognize this song at all. Singles. All right, so someone just sent me this one particular file. Sounds amazing, by the way. Part of... Oh, I'm doing it in the wrong order. Yeah, no, yeah. So I think... Oh, yeah, no, these hit way above $200. When the music calls for it. Like right now, this is great. This is as analytical as far as the sound positioning and music tonality. Maybe better than like my Neumanns, like the headphones I trust the most. But I hate a whole lot of my music with these on. And I think that's the problem. These are literally a love-hate headphone. And depending on how crazy your playlist goes, because this is a wonderful song, I got Muse right above it. If I put Supermassive Black Hole on, I have the unmastered version of that song too, which is much better. I think if you have an inkling that you kind of maybe are a person who wants an analytical headphone, a headphone that's not, it's. You want to know what these headphones are? Ready? I'll explain it to you right now. Put them down. They're very nice. There's a lovely wire I put on them. I believe I've got this wire. It takes the same connector here as like M50s, M40X, M50s, other Sennheisers of this series, which is like the weird 2.5mm deep plunging twist locking one. And I'm so fucking happy I had the replacement wire I got on Amazon years ago for that, because this fucking disaster is the stock cable. And I want you to fucking think about this for a second. You are Sennheiser. You're one of the largest manufacturers of headphone in the world. You don't have to make anything bad. Every single aspect of everything could be the greatest because you've got millions of dollars. And are you aiming at a $200 headphone? You know how much it costs them to make a $200 headphone, right? You all understand it's like $30, like with boxes and shipping and marketing, $30. That's the total cost to build. That's how you have to run a business. So somewhere in that $30, instead of spending 97 cents on the wire, they spent 62 cents on the wire. And you got this. You get like a 10-foot long, 8-foot long wire that is just a fucking jank fest. And then it terminates in a 1/4 inch. So that should indicate to you who they're selling these to. Someone who needs 8 feet of cable that they don't give a fuck about, that they're probably going to replace it. And then you're going to get this 1/4 inch jack. Oh, and if you want to use it with they'll include this adapter. So you get this giant fucking fuck off adapter to go 1/4 inch to 3.5mm. And then like, this is the unacceptable. Unacceptable in the home. This is fine if you're giving it to people. See, here's the thing. DJs aren't using this. If you're using it in a professional mixing environment, yes. Okay. No. You know what? Fuck you. No, this is never acceptable. Never acceptable. This is what this is. Sennheiser, you have lots of places you can just, instead of folding the cable, like you see the folds, you see every time it's been folded and stored in a box for like a couple weeks, and just make a loop. I'm sure this came off a giant spool that was, but it's not even the right material. Like, I hate it. I hate everything about this whole wire. And if I didn't have a replacement wire, I may have never done this review. But luckily I have a replacement wire. So that took the edge off of my anger a bit. But I started listening on that and I was like, ah. So you get back to the comfort and it's fucking comfortable. And you get back to the sound quality on high quality stuff. It's not very soundstagey. That's another thing. It's very focused and narrow. But when it images in that focus and narrow, it images maybe, you know what? These might be the best imaging headphones that I've reviewed in the last year. I think that could be, if that's the only aspect you're looking at, is neutral tonality and imaging, this could be the best ones. Like, there's scary nice imaging. The problem is when you have music that's not recorded well, where the imaging wasn't really a concern to the engineer, it's just a fucking mess. So yeah, they're analytical, and if you're an analytical person and you go to a French fashion show, you can analyze the beautiful dresses and how they flow and how they fit the girls, and you can go to a car show and analyze the engineering. But if you're an analytical person and you go into the subways of New York and you go and analyze a fucking toilet in the subways, you're going to have a bad time. So depending on if any of your music is from the toilet of New York, you're going to have a bad time. I luckily do a lot of movie soundtracks, anime soundtracks, things that have like production quality beyond like trying to make money on the fucking shelves. So a lot of my music sounds really good. But there's music in here that is not strictly for analytical purposes. It's just for me to enjoy. And these don't allow me to do it. So that's why this is like, if you have a confidence in your playlist, like this, Helsing OST, goodbye, Used World. This is just a fun little like, it's 26 seconds long. I can't listen to it because it's low quality. It's basically mono, and it actually the analyticalness of it hurts me to listen to that. Like, it's so close and so fucking narrow, and it's like, ah. So, I mean, they're definitely for the analytical world. Kill La Kill is a very good soundtrack. Not super analytical ready, though. And as far as the bass, though, it does, for an analytical headphone, it does get down real low. It reaches down into like the 20s as far as low end is concerned. So that's good enough. I'm just warning you, if you get these, because everyone's screaming, oh, 560s, 560s, 560s. Yes, absolutely 560s. If your music library can support it, or at least you understand going into it, that you are now moving away from the guy on the beanbag chair, covered in jello, and more towards the guy with no fingernails. They're all just bleeding because he's like, oh, God, I can't. Just leans that way. You know what I didn't test? Hold on a second. Let's unplug you. You're on. You can go here. I just had this tube amp on like this, so we'll just give it a second to warm up. Let's see what's the impedance of these. Do we know? Why is that popped out? Go away. I hate the wire. Exceptional experience regardless of power system. Detachable 3-meter cable provides a perfect amount of freedom. Fuck you. 120 hertz, 120 ohm. That should be enough to get a tube to actually like do tube things. We're set up low gain out. I'm outputting through this into the. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Let's put back on Beach Boys again. They're doing interesting things on tubes. Because, I mean, the HD560s Pros, which is a Sennheiser. Give me a minute. Okay. We're back. What time is it now? All right, we are back. If you're considering buying these, or if you've bought them already, buy a tube amp. Because I just got this set up tonight, this tube amp, and I had it out to test the Zeus, and then I turned it off, and I'm like, all right, you know, and then I'll just do the 560s, and I didn't even realize I hadn't heard them on tubes. So I just stopped the camera, listened to a bunch of music, and I've come back to give you this slightly revised opinion on the 560s. They're fucking fantastic on a tube amp. The Toro Roger is like a $700 tube amp, so it's not like nothing. But if you know DMS, and I know DMS, he's an analytical asshole. Hi, DMS, how you doing? He wants his headphones to be nothing so that he could listen to the source. I want just all different headphones. It's great. And then you can mix the source in too. Who cares? But these headphones need the tube to filter through the music that doesn't quite make up to spec for analytical listening. And you know what? I'm plugged into the fucking Liquid Gold X. I was plugged into that, which is not exactly the most linear. It's sort of like a little bit warmer, like tube. Like not tube, but listening amp. And I could have put the Flux amp. Flux. We'll get our words right. So the fact that I'm now on a tube with owls and chains, and it sounds that it's the HD560 Pros all over again. Fucking Sennheiser HD560 Pros are in a remarkably good, closed back, like listening, like analytical can. They're for mixing and mastering. You put them on, this is linear, this is what it sounds like. Bad music sounds bad. You plug them into a tube, and those are, I think, also like 150 ohm, 120 ohm. And all the fucking stuffiness goes away. These have now moved, because of the tube amp, from the guy with no fingernails bleeding either right to the middle or even just slightly over towards Jello Man, who's over there covered in Jello. These, oh, it's so good now. Like, why was I listening? Because I didn't have tubes set up. I've been here for 3 months, 2 months, and there's a whole pile of tube amps over there I haven't fucking unboxed. These are on the shelf. I got the only tube I've gotten is one for the freaking Stax Energizer. The Corsonis is a tube. But this is the first night that I have run a tube amp in this house. And that's what this was missing. Running perfect linear stuff through the tube with just the right amount of resistance, 120 ohms. You look at that number, the higher that number, the more it's dragging out the tube. Wait. These are now a fun listening headphone. Marilyn Manson fight song. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. All the way up. Let's crank it. Crank this shit up. I can listen to it now. I can actually just sit here and listen to the fight song by Marilyn Manson. It doesn't sound like I want to die. I can't listen to that. Can't listen to that. Can't listen to it there. It does something. It does something. It rounds off those sharp edges, and you just, oh, no, now I can, now it's enjoyable. Fucking Sennheiser. What is their thing? How do they do that? How do they, they have headphones you can't change the pads on, like no matter what. The Kone has like 7 different pads. I've tried them all. They never make any Sennheiser sound better. And then they do this shit where it's like hyper analytical stuff. So you tube it, and then it's like, oh, it's great. It's great. It's fucking great now. So now the 560s go from being like a half recommendation to, if you have a tube amp, yeah, why the fuck not? $200, they're comfortable. You buy an extra cable, you tube, oh, that cable's stiff too. With a tube, these are as good as I would imagine, hitting above their price point. You know, yeah, no. Take the imaging that I was like literally wooing over. What was I overing? Something overing. And now just add tube width and softness to it. And it says like, yes, this is it. So maybe that's where DMS listens to it. Maybe he listened to one of his like $80,000 tube amps. Oh, Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. I may actually sit through this entire song now. This review's over. I bitched a bit. I'm glad you got to see two perspectives of that, because that's not like, oh, Zeos, shouldn't you restart the whole review from scratch? No, why? You're along for this journey with me. You showed up while you actually watched me. I took a break, and I rediscovered something, and I came back, and that's how fast opinions can change on a thing. As easy as going from a solid state to a tube, and I think everybody needs a tube amp. Zeos will link the Dark Voice also in the description, because that's like the accessible $200 tube amp, but you can change the tubes all you want. This thing's a little more exotic. But sometimes you just gotta tube some motherfuckers, man. Sometimes you just gotta fucking tube it. Sometimes. So yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here after and shut this off. But thank you to Sennheiser for sending it. I know I yelled about your cables, but that's fucking, you gotta change those things. Have some pride in your goddamn cables. But the headphones themselves, once you understand them, if you shut the video off after the first half, you're not going to understand the second half, where I come around and go like, oh, shit. So, yes on these. I'll give them a yes. It's a yes with a but. It's a yes, they're great with great music, or add a tube, and then they're great. So that's the only thing. The wallpaper, so I should probably change the wallpaper. No, look, she's smiling. She's got weird eyes and scars. But that's very, very, like, analytical, military, Reese there, whatever her name is. And then you put a tube on, and she smiles. Put a tube on and get a joke out of it. So there you go. I'm done with this. Links to these. They're not on Amazon, by the way. That's another fucking, like, question of the day is how the hell does BestBuy.com have 560s, but Amazon.com not have 560s? What world do we live in? Who wants to order anything from Best Buy? Stop it. Stop it. Ship a crate of these over to Amazon so people can get Prime shipping. So links to these wherever the fuck they are. Wallpaper in the description. Patreon and Subscribestar support this channel and my mad ravings. If you like my mad ravings, please feel free to throw money at me in the street like a hobo by supporting this channel on Patreon and Subscribestar. $5 a month lets you see all these reviews early, ask me questions on platform, and participate in the yard sales. If you want me to answer your questions way faster, or you just want to hang out with other people who are insane and can handle my sense of humor, the $10 tiers on both will get you in the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat, where you could ask me any questions you want and sell things in the private swap meet channel. There's a private swap meet channel just for $10 patrons, by the way. I would let the $5 patrons in there, but it would be too many and I wouldn't be able to keep track of it. The $10 ones is that's like one of the another benefit for $10 is they're a private swap meet. And yeah, Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. If DMS hasn't already made a post on Hi-Fi Guides where he has announced his marriage to the 560s, I got to talk to him now because I got to ask him if he tubed them, because I love them on a tube way more than I did on any amps that I plugged them into. I even had them in some portables with that fucking stupid wire and the adapter. Oh God. But yeah, oof. Okay. I want to thank everyone for showing up.